So, two things. First of all, I will use server, backend, and API server are the same things for me. So I will probably use different terminologies at different time, but it's the same. So the backend or server or whatever, it's a software that runs in a server machine remotely that serves you. So you make requests and it will respond to you. Server, they will respond you with an HTML. They will respond you with a JSON. So API server. We will look at REST API server. So there are different kind of servers. Servers. So in this particular case, we are looking at an HTML pages. So a web server that will serve pages. But now I can show you that we can have an endpoint that serves JSON. And then you can take that JSON and manipulate it in the client, in the browser, and show HTML. For example, like with a React or Preact or Angular or whatever. So those frameworks, they take some JSON and they manipulate the JSON and they transform to an HTML and they update the HTML in the on the go. Okay, so everyone agrees that this is okay. So we got 3 pages and a 404. And then, so when we hit a URL, we render a page. So watch out. If I do this, and I restart that, and I go to my, that's what I was talking about before. You need to instruct the browser to say, hey, I'm sending some HTML. You need to render it as HTML. So now if I do that and I restart, it will read it as the HTML. So what about, so he actually came up with a good point and said, okay, I don't want to return HTML, I would like to return, like, say, JSON. So let's create a JSON file. Oops. So I go in this, I create a new file, and I create a shopping list.json. Okay, so this shopping list.json, it's an array of name. So this is the name of a product. This I will say, I don't know, tomatoes. Let's say price 10, and amount 5. Right? I want to create another product. So let's say pie. I would like to have one pie, and then something to drink, maybe. Cola. That costs 12 crowns, and at least 2 bottles. Okay. Now, we got this shopping list. This is the same in the same this folder. So together with our HTML files. Okay. So this would be text JSON. Watch out here, guys. and I can take the shopping list here. This would be shopping list .json. Okay, this is shopping list, and I am here. So on the shopping URL, I get the shopping list, and I decode this as a JSON. So I start the server like that. This is the working. If I do shopping, oh, sorry, it was just shopping, I think.
It's not shopping.
It was just shopping. Yeah. And it's JSON. So you can see the header here. Text JSON. Can you see here? Small? Yeah. Sorry, another one. This one. Text JSON. And I get 200. So now we are serving both HTML and JSON endpoints. Okay. Nice. So let's move forward. What about we want to? So let's make things a bit more complicated. Now it's too easy. So I would like to have one endpoint to read the shopping list and one endpoint to add an item to the shopping list. You know what I mean? So I have an endpoint that will read. So I'm moving forward now because we have this HTTP node, and I'm ready here now. I'm doing slightly bit of the week 4. Okay, but I'm not using Express. I'm using still the HTTP library. Okay, so now I have an endpoint that shows me the shopping list. There is a problem though. I want to have one endpoint that also allows me to add an item to the shopping list. Okay, so how do we do that? First of all, we have developed a very nice library. Shopping list library that I will copy and paste here. So this is the class that we used before. Do you remember this? This is actually INA code. Okay. So now I have that one in my server. I want to take advantage of all this logic that we already wrote to integrate in my server. Okay. So let's remove that. Let's import the shopping list. So let's import shopping item, shopping list, and manage shopping list. So all of them, okay? So our shopping list is this shopping list equal new shopping list. So this now is a shopping list. So when we hit the shopping, we want to display the shopping list, right? So how do we do that? Okay. So we send a string of the shopping list, of the list of items in the shopping list. So obviously now this will return something empty. That's correct because there is nothing in the shopping list, right? So let's create another endpoint like this. I'll show you that this is one way of doing it. It's not the best way of doing it, but it's one way of doing it. It's not wrong, but it doesn't respect the rest. We will look what is the rest. This a REST API, this REST thing, what is, but we are looking next week. Now it's not super important. Now it's more to make a web server. But when we introduce the REST philosophy, we will see that what we are doing now doesn't match with that. It's like OOP. You can do it, works, but it's not the best way because it doesn't really match with OOP. Okay, let's get back to this. So let's add an endpoint, add item. Okay. So add item. I will use query params now. So Ina, question. How do we add an item on a shopping list? It's shopping list dot add item, and we say the add item takes a shopping item, right? So we need to create an item here.
Yeah.
Will be new shopping item, and this takes three name. Okay, perfect. Nice. So we want to use query params to actually read, to read the data from the URL. Okay. So what are the query params? The query params are like this. So I want to end up to something like this. Add item. And price 20 and amount 2. Those are query params. Query parameters. Query because they come after the question mark. And this is 1, and then you chain it with the %, and this is the second, and then you chain with %, and then you have the last one. So if I hit this, now I get sorry because this doesn't exist yet. So how do we read query params? Sorry, it's rec. Okay, but I don't remember. Wait a sec. Query params HTTP. Oh, okay. Okay, they are using. Okay, perfect. So we still need to do our way. We need to do manually. So do you remember we have a rec.url, right? So if this won't match anymore because we'll have query params and we don't know the query params. So I cannot really do this rec.url anymore. I need to parse it. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So let's comment this first. Let's run this again. If I hit this, in my console log here, oh, sorry, I need a log. Also this one. I want to show you the URL that I get when this gets it. Yeah, you see? So I want to split on the question mark and this is gonna be my segment. So I will call const URL equal rec.url. So I need to check if it has question mark, right? So rec URL index of question mark, it's different than -1. That means that exists, right? So if that exists, I want to split this on the question mark and take the first part. Otherwise, I'm just gonna take URL. Okay? Everyone agrees with this. So if there is the question mark, split the URL in two parts where the question mark is, and take the first part. So it will split this in two where the question mark is and take the first part. So, and now I can do the same on the URL here. I can use that. Now I need to grab the params. The params is pretty much the same, but take the first part, right? Otherwise, just null. Because if there is a question mark, then split where there is the question and then take all those. Now you want to split again, so I will make this a let. So you want to split those params again, because params, if you think about it, you want to split about you want to split for each param, right? So you want also split for %. And that's the function you saw in Stack Overflow. That guy is actually doing that thing. So how do you do this? So let's call it this actually, that const params. So the params are params by %. So let's console log this.
Split out person.
So if params, okay. Okay, so if params, so if this is something and it's not null, then split the params by %, and just console log them. I'm just gonna console log them here. Just want to show you what happened. Start, I hit the URL again, and my params are now like this. You see, it's an array. Now I want to make this array, and I want to go through this array and make this a key of an object and this the value of the object. So I'm transforming once more. So I go here, how I loop through. So we'll create now this an object param here. So let object param. This is an object, okay? So the object would be param equal params param. Well, actually no. The value will be, so value, sorry, key will be param dot split on the equal. Because I have this array, right? So now for each array, I'm splitting here and saving the first part as the key and the second part as the value, right? And now I will have all params, this one will be key, which is this, and value, which will be this one. And then I want to actually log. I'm going to recycle this and log operam. So if I move forward now and I hit that again, oh, probably there is an error. Oh, key is not defined. Actually, it's going to be a constant. Then I'm going to change the more. So I refresh. And now you see, name tomatoes, price 20, amount 2. I went from a query string to an object now. Since I'm going to reuse this, I will stay this and make a function here. And this function will be get params. And I'll put everything in this function, and takes the URL here. And I will replace those two with the URL. And we'll return operams. Okay, so now I can remove all this and say this is still, it still works. So if I stop and start that again. No, there is a problem. So I split that one, and this will return. Actually, I have to refresh this one. Sorry. Yeah, it's working. Was refreshing the wrong page, so it's working. So now I have this function where I can put the URL in, and it will return the params, and it will split the params. So this will return an object with name, tomatoes, price 20, amount 2. So now I can go back to my add item, and I can do here. Add item is sorry, shopping item is waiting for name, amount. You see those 3 arguments. So I can say this one will be param. Let's save those params here. So let's say const params. Params dot name. Params dot. So the second one was. Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong. The second was the amount. And the third was the price, right? Then I take this item and I do here, right? Shop list item, and I pass the item, and I do a break. Okay. So you understand what I did here? I parsed, basically I wrote this function to parse the query params. Okay, so stop and start again. So now it's oh. Oh, sorry. Ah, yeah, I missed that one. Cola, price 12 and 4 bottles, and I did enter. That's exactly what I'm going to do now. See if I do shopping. So I was able, look, a lot happened here. So let's go through quickly again. First of all, I was able to reuse inner code. That it's a good thing. That's a very very good thing. It means that I was able to have some logic, and I could use it in my command line interface before, and I'm using the same logic in my web server. So that means that the code is very reusable, and that's a very good thing of code. That's why you should design with classes and all that stuff, because you see that code actually works everywhere, has its own API methods and things, and works everywhere. And I just wrap around my command line interface, or I wrap around my web server. You see? So that's the first thing happened. Second thing that happens, did you notice that we have a web server able to output 2 different kind of files? Sometimes it will return HTML pages, but sometimes it will return some JSONs. Third thing that happened, we wrote a very tiny parser for the query params. So now we can parse query params in the URL for add items to our shopping list. So we are using this function get params that will read the query params in here, those ones, and we'll be able to add the item to the shopping list. And every time I navigate to that, we'll add 1 cola. You see? So every time I hit that URL, it will actually add a cola. And that's okay, because this is URL, it's meant to be hit by a JavaScript client. So a tiny piece of software that runs in your web page. So when you push a button add, it will actually add. It's not a URL meant to hit by, it's not meant to be hit by address. Okay. Okay. Now there is something that I'm actually missing here, right? So when I add an item, I will actually when I add an item, I would like to show that I've added an item. I want to say an item has been added, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new page in this. Item.html. I'm gonna say include it here. Yes. And when I add an item here, I wanna when I actually respond with an add item page. So this is actually will allow me to say shopping. Now it's empty. This is another important thing. When I stop my server, I lose everything. Why?
Because it's in the temporary array, it's like in the buffer.
The array is it's in the RAM. It's in memory. I'm not saving on disk.
Yeah.
So when the server dies, cancel everything. Like the process stopped because I'm not persisting those data. How do you persist data?
Persist means to save in the JSON
Yeah.
file.
Yeah, we could save on the JSON file. That's perfectly valid, or database.
Well, I used something else I did to make to do this project, and then when I write and then document and yeah, and it came out like a p element and it saves the p element. So whenever I refresh it, so the p element was still there was
Yeah. Yeah, but it's important to understand the node won't persist data if you don't say so. So one thing that we could add here is to use which module we'll use to manage files? FS, to actually add the item, read it, and save that in a file. So when we restart, the data will be persistent in this JSON file. And then we will find that there is a limitation in this. And I'll explain you why. Okay, so first of all, if I now have shopping list is empty, if I do add item cola, I get this nice message. I have this, an item has been added. If I go back, I get the cola. And if I hit this again, I get 2 cola. Okay, so every time I hit that URL, I get a cola. So if I go here and I do, I don't know, Apple, I get this message. I get my shopping cart, and I get this one. Okay. So first of all, it would be very, very, very easy to get the total. The total would be total price. And let's put it as a JSON, okay? So I need to restart. I lost everything. I need to add a couple of items. I have 2 items here. Now I can do total cost. $200. If I add another item, let's say and I go on my shopping, I have an Apple now, and I can do total cost, and that changed again. Now, the problem is this, right? So I'm on a shopping list, I get my items, I stop the server, obviously now the server is not running, so the site can be reached, but if I run it again, now it's running on port 9100, I reload it and the shopping list is empty. How to fix this? Let's use FS. So first of all, every time I hit shopping, I need to check if I need to read the file. I need to read a JSON file.
And if it's not,
Yes, and that's the JSON file will be here. So we create a new file. Let's call shopping. Oh, we already have a shopping list JSON. So we just empty that one, and we are going to use that one. Shopping. So this is the JSON file, right? Okay. So I'm going to use this. Oh, that's the same name. Sorry. Just call it JSON. Cool. So shopping. So I'm gonna read the list of items and save it there. So I do this. Right. File. The path is shopping list.json. The data are this, and then in the end we have the callback, right? So the callback is an error, and just take an error. So if error, and then we can use and I need an error page, okay? Okay. If there's no error, I'm gonna respond to this one. You agree? So every time I hit shopping, I will. Sorry, I need to read, not right. I need to read from the file. Right? I'm gonna read from the file. From this file, shopping list. I don't need that one. And then if there is an error, I'm gonna show an error page with 500, like a generic server error. Otherwise, let's write this if. Otherwise, we send what we read from here. So this would be data, right? And then we read in UTF-8. Okay. If there is no data, we just respond with sorry, if there's no data, we respond with an empty array. Okay, cool. Because this file could exist, but could be empty. And that's probably the case when in the beginning, right? So let's add an error page here. New file error page.html. H1. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we have a generic error page. Sorry, we don't need to import this actually. Error page. This will be error page. Okay. and yeah. Okay. So if this is fail, we send the error page. Otherwise, we send the JSON. We send 200, and we send the JSON, the stringified version of what comes from the file. Now, when we add an item, so when we add an item, we need to write to that file, right? So we add item to the shopping list, then we can read from the shopping list. So we write to the JSON, shopping list.json, and what we write the JSON stringify version of the shopping list dot list of item. And then if there is an error, pretty much like before, right? We can actually copy this. So if there is error, we send the error page. Otherwise, we send the data, which actually the data would be this. So what I do, I first add it, and then I write it by reading again from the list, and then I also send what I read. You agree with me, right? If there is an error, I will send that one. Otherwise, I send a JSON format. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay. Obviously, I'm improvising, but I'm not prepared. No. So, okay, cool. So let's see if this file is written. That one. No. So this file has not been written. So let's see, add item. Okay. No, actually, this was alright. No. Okay, cool. So this should be the other item page. It's shopping list.json. Yeah. So let's see what is output here. Yeah. So you see, this is the JSON stringify of the shopping list of item. This is what I write here. So if there are errors, it will throw errors, it will throw error, but there are no error. That's good. Wow, this is add item is page. Specify path data and callbacks. Okay. Oh, it's saving in the wrong place. It's saving in the wrong place, I see. Okay, cool. Probably this also reading from the wrong place. Okay, cool. So we are actually saving. It's just saving here. You see? So if I do this again, I have 2 now. So I'm actually saving. Okay. So let's go shopping. So I need to use, yeah, I told you this, right? I do this mistake quite often. When you read and write, you need to use the path join. So this is shopping list. JSON, right? Shopping list. Okay. And this is yeah, and this also is shopping list JSON. Okay, nice. So that's added then. That's index shopping. Okay, so if I get shopping, it will read that. We will read it. And this, I think what's happening here, that this res here, it's not called because it's inside the, inside the, no, it's inside this callback here. You see? And it should be here, like those ones. So one way of solving this is to basically like the simplest way we can do it is to just say it with what we return here. Or actually, actually, I didn't see why this should not work. This is alright. This should work. Let's put a console log here. Oh, I need to start that. Yeah, so the data, it's alright. Data is alright. Bright head is alright. JSON, it's okay.
Do I start with shopping JSON?
So this now should not be involved anymore, but should be the one in dist. And that's correct. Let's add one more. Let's say Apple price 11 and only 1. Yeah. Whoa, okay. So if I add another item, yeah. So it is the one in the shopping list. So, sorry, in the this file is the one in the dist folder. You see. So that's all right. Cool. So why? So this works. Why here I don't get anything? Okay, I will go for a simple version. I will explore this later. Let's use sync. Red file sync. Put join that one. Encoding UTF-8. And this will be the file. So this will be shopping list. Oops. Yeah. Okay. And now I can say if shopping list, then everything's fine, and I return the shopping list. I'm using the sync version because I think there is some problem with the synchronous code here. I will explore it later. Otherwise, we have 500, and we give the error page. And error page is HTML. Okay, let's try this. Yeah. Yeah, so there was some issue with the synchronous code. I'm gonna revert with the. I'm gonna go for the sync version. Okay. So you see, now I go here and add an item. Let's something like banana price. Let's see, this is a very cheap banana, and so we can buy many of them. List add item of this. So let's see, 89 of this. Oh. Shopping list. Shopping list is here. So what is? Oh, it's an add item. This shopping list is this one. It is defined as a new shopping list. Where is this? Probably it's that one. This is, let me take this out and rerun that. Okay. So now if I go in my shopping list JSON, I have banana. Okay, yes. So probably there's something wrong in this method here, in this URL. I will okay, let's run that again. Okay, cool. So and I should have multiple bananas. Yeah, perfect. So if I go in the shopping, I need to save that, sorry. Shopping, yes. And now I'm reading from the disk. Go here. I have an issue. I'm not convinced about this one. So shopping list, add item. It's only this one. But this one is this one, right? So it should be defined.
Maybe it's not because of the declared accounts.
Oh. Let me do this, just to be super sure. Just I'll put underscore in front just to change name. Yeah, I think you're right. Yes, cola. So let's do now. Yeah. Okay. So now, if I stop this and restart it and refresh here, I still get the same. So I don't lose the data even if I stop my server, because now my data are stored in this file. Obviously, if I go here and I delete this file and save it and refresh here, error page, because it couldn't find the shopping list. But if I put the data back and I save it and I refresh, the data back here as well. We have 20 minutes left, basically, okay? So, without I give you my code, try to get close to this. Try to work your way around at least to have multiple pages. Actually, that code is already on Slack. But without look at that code, try to have a web server that serves multiple pages and maybe also JSON. So create a JSON file and also serve a JSON file. Tired?
Huh?
You tired or? I see you've wrote a lot in this last half an hour. No, it's important writing. You know, writing is part of you know, keep your hands warm.
example, I try to this reading and writing in the JSON file in the classes.
So I want you to do two. Those two are very important. We need to do this. First of all, you need to import your classes from the exercise.
Yeah, this is ready.
Yeah, this is important. Now try to like create a shopping list. By in the code, create a shopping list when you start the code. So you don't have a URL to add an item. Just create it right away, and then try to add a URL that reads the shopping list. You know what I mean? So you can, like here, when you create a shopping list, just add an item. So you do item, new item, and shopping item. Create an item, blah 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 blah, and put it on the shopping list. In here, right when you start, okay? And then try to have this one. So when you call this, when you hit this URL, you call the get list, get items from the class, or your equivalent. I don't know. I'm using Yina code actually. You.
Get this error.
Unexpected token import.
Even I use the same boilerplate.
Yeah. You need to use the same boilerplate. Yeah. You need to.
I get this error, but I cannot run the server.
Oh, wait a second. What are you? No server. What did you run? What did you do? What command did you use?
Watch.
Yes. So that's good.
And I'm using here the second terminal, and I'm getting this error.
Yeah.
And this is fine.
Import. This is star S. It's not it's like this. Star SFS.
Star S.
You just brought import FS. Remember to stop and start the server all the time to get the new stuff, because you cannot update the server while it's running.
Okay.
Obviously. There's a port, my server port is not a function. It's not port, it's listen.
No, yeah, doubtless.
And also you cannot use port below 1000 and something. So when you choose a port, choose a large number, still less than 64,000. 65,000. So like 3,000 and 4,000. But the first ports from 0 to 1,000 are used by the operative system. So you cannot use them.
Marco still have the same error?
Okay. So are you running NPM run
Yes.
watch? Okay.
Yes.
Let's watch. Yeah. So that's. Oh wait. You are Node server. Are you in the correct folder?
Yeah.
Okay. Try to have this one. You see, this is the same as this, which is not okay. Where this file is?
This is the main file.
Yeah, but
Okay, server. And this is in this folder.
Node server. So try to delete that file. The JS and map. Yeah.
And again.
Yeah. So stop one. Yeah. Yes.
Again.
Yeah. So now can I have a look at that file?
Okay. It's converted again.
Oh. Oh, okay. Do this. If you have this problem, do this. Do remove the remove the node modules. Do minus rf.
Minus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Node modules.
Node.
Just do tab. Do tab. No. Do this.
Okay. Node modules.
Yes. Enter. And now do npm install.
Yeah.
Just I. Yeah. No. Install I. Just either. Just to control. Yeah. Either this or this.
If I have a yeah.
This is like.
Because I already have a package.
Yeah. And now because you have the packages on, it will read the package.json
Okay.
and download that for you.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe something wrong in installation.
I have a question about the NPM start.
Yes.
Yeah, when is that it shows track, but when I come to it says cannot find the file, but I already here.
No, it's you're in dist. You need to run npm start from. So. Yes. Yeah. Can you do this? One sec. Oh. So yeah, from here you need to run npm start. That is. I think you have this. You have the same issue that had just to remove the node modules and reinstall everything. It's just I'm removing it and after that run npm install, which is the short version is npm I.
NPM install, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There are some issue when you copy. I've seen that there are some issue when you copy and paste the entire folder with node modules in. Something get messed up for some reason. I don't know. So just remove the node modules folder and do npm install again.
I did it, but again the same issue.
Yeah, it's
Unexpected.
It worked for me though.
Package JSON. The JSON file.
so your but it includes JSON. Do you think if I could clone your files again?
I copy paste the JSON file in the new one, and then I do install and
Oh,
just copy paste it and do again npm.
Yeah. So yeah, remove the node modules, copy and paste the package.json, and run it. So something like this, basically. When you are here, I'll try to clone it myself, so I go in the same trouble as you. So here, I copy and paste, and I call it this server 1. Server 1. Let's remove that. So now if I go in the serve, oops. Yeah, no server. No, sorry, here, server 1, cool. So I just copy and paste. You see, I don't have the package.json file. If I do here, there is no no stuff. So I will advise you to go here on your previous project, copy this, and paste it. So now you will have the package the JSON file. Remove the folder node modules and do npm install. And after the npm install here, create a new folder called src and install. Oops, no, I created a file.
So we didn't remove the node module. I just
okay, you didn't remove that. Okay, I removed them. You can remove and reinstall it, everything. Create a new folder src and install inside that folder. Create a new file called index dot. Oops. And just for test, do that. Okay. So now if you do npm start, sorry, npm build.
Run build.
Sorry, run build. Npm start. So you copy. So you create a new folder. You copy the package JSON file, and you create a folder called src. And inside the folder src, you do index.js. Then you do in the folder with the package JSON file, you do npm install. So you get all the node modules. Yeah. Even simpler. You can just create a new folder and just copy the package JSON file. I mean that's like actually the simplest thing you can do. So here you create a new folder, yeah, and you call it server or whatever. Nice. And then inside the server you copy the package.json file of that folder.
Which one?
Not the lock, this one. Yeah, yeah.
This copy?
Yeah, copy. And then you put it in server. Yeah. And now you with the terminal go here. With your terminal. Oh wow. That's yeah, you don't need that window. So now you see you have the you have the packages on file, so you can install. This now it will read the package.json file and install your dependencies,
Oh, okay.
and will create a
So-
node modules folder for you. And then you just need to create an src folder
Yeah. Okay.
and the index.js inside the src. All the source they go in the src, in the source folder.
All of this package.json is Pachito.
Yes, that's my. So my real name is actually Paquito.
No, it's, you have created the.
Yeah, I created it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool.
But everyone calls me Marco. So you create now a folder. Yes, nice. Yeah, you have it here. Server.
Oh, that's two.
Try to remove one.
It should be the.
Yeah. So this is now you create a new folder
Mm,
in the src.
This SRC.
Yeah.
And the index inside.
Yes, exactly. And that would be your entry point. So you always need to have an index.js file. Try to do just a console log here, just to prove that it works. Nice. Yes. Perfect. So do npm run watch. And the run watch now will build this folder for you.
Yeah.
You see, now you got a dist folder. So now if you do, and you see,
Yeah.
so now if you do it npm start,
Yeah. That's what I know. Yeah. It works.
okay, perfect. Let's open for 2 seconds. I'm so slow. We cannot open for 3 seconds because it takes 2 minutes. Yeah. So did you manage?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is to grab the classes. You remember Ina?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the classes from your onboards.
Okay.
And write the simple HTTP server and try to read the shopping list from the server. So you have a URL that basically wraps the instance of the shopping list dot like shopping list item in her case. I don't know if you have something different. We've done an amazing progress today. Actually, we did more than we should have done. So I'm very happy.
So you can post
I will write myself a server, and I will post pretty much late in the week. But so you need to do it yourself. But probably Friday or Saturday I will post mine, so you can have a reference and see how I did it, just as inspiration.
So you will not upload it and your
I won't upload it. What you need to do is to do what I've done today, basically in the class. You have a good degree of freedom, so you can do whatever you want to do. But the idea is to use HTTP server and the shopping list class. You need to be able to add an item like I did, and persist the data on disk, like I did using FS. I will write down all the exercise later today, but it's pretty much what I've done here. So HTTP server using the shopping list class, and be able to add an item through URL and show the shopping item, and save the data on file system with the JSON. Okay? I'll write it better later, but I really like you know that you can find help, but the point is to find yourself. And I will also have some extra anyway. I will have some bonus that is not in the video. So.